The best way you can support me is with a simple subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this.
All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV. Keep y'all updated on this Carmelo Anthony saga. I believe this is the last big free agent block to fall. Technically, Melo's not a free agent, but if he gets bought out, he'll be a free agent. He's probably likely to get traded. We believe he's on the market like a free agent. So this is the last, to me, the last big thing to happen in free agency this summer. You got Simmons over there with San Antonio. That's an interesting one. I think Simmons could have an impact if he leaves San Antonio somewhere else. There are a couple other guys. I don't think Washington has matched Otto Porter yet. That should be, I think they're going to do that in the next day or so. So there are a couple other guys out there that I think could be interesting. By the way, if Washington doesn't match Otto Porter, he's heading to the Nets. But Melo is the name that everybody knows. This is the name that even the people who really don't follow basketball like that, my women fans of Mr. Taliaferro, they know the name Carmelo Anthony. Obviously, they know Lala, his wife. They know the brand Melo. Melo's one of those staples, one of the top 5 most popular players in the NBA over the last decade. People know Melo, so this is interesting to them. Carmelo Anthony, the update is right now with him in his situation in Houston is that the Rockets have now told teams, and it's now known around the league, they're trying to do whatever it takes to get this deal done. So I can tell you, as of today, as of Tuesday, the Rockets are now going after Melo as hard as any team has going after him in his career, outside of the Knicks, who ended up getting Melo. So put that in perspective. The Rockets are all in. The Cavs are a team that they want Melo. They know Melo would be interested in playing for them if he were to get traded, but they're not aggressively pursuing Carmelo. The Rockets are. That's the update as of today. All right, now this could change. This is a fluid situation. It always could change, but the Cavs are without a GM right now, right? David Griffin is out. Dan Gilbert, the owner, is meeting with his assistant GM. He met with him yesterday. They're trying to find a new GM, so they got other things to worry about right now. So Dan Gilbert is really the one, and the assistant GM are the ones trying to facilitate this Melo trade or find a third team. So it's a lot right now because people are playing outside of their roles. So I don't look at the Cavs as the front runner right now. I think Houston has kind of slid past them. And if y'all know anything about the NBA, the Houston Rockets GM, Daryl Morey, he's as aggressive as a GM as we've ever seen. He's the analytics guy. Remember, he was the guy who believes in the analytics are the way you put teams together, right? That's why he went James Harden and Dwight Howard together. He believes in certain formulas. All right, so I guess he's put some sort of formula in his head where James Harden, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony together would be really good. I think it's more about bringing stars to the table, and other guys will want to play for less money. And you make Houston one of those teams that, like, you know how it is with the Cavs. Guys take pay cuts to play with the Cavs toward the end of their career, or play with LeBron, whatever team he's on. When they're like 32, 33, 34 years old, instead of just taking maybe a 3-year deal for $15 million, $5 million a year, they might take a 1-year deal for about $3 million or a veterans minimum type deal to play with LeBron because they know they're going to get to the finals in the Eastern Conference at the least, and they're competing for a championship. Now the Warriors have that same formula. Guys are taking pay cuts. Nick Young probably could have made more money elsewhere on the market, but you're at that point where you can kind of play for a ring and increase your value for free agency next year. So these are what the Cavs and Warriors have become, because teams they want to play for championships. So you can look at a team like the Boston Celtics, and you can tell teams don't look at them as contenders because veterans aren't sold to play with them yet. When you know a team, you'll know a team's a championship contending team when guys want to start playing with them and taking less money to play with them. And Boston has not become that kind of commodity yet. That's still only any team that LeBron's on, and the Warriors now have become that. San Antonio to a lesser degree, but definitely those two teams. So Houston's trying to become one of those teams. Now, do I believe Carmelo Anthony with Chris Paul and James Harden is a championship contending team? No, but I mean, I don't know what could beat the Warriors right now. It's doing something, and I salute the Rockets for not just laying down like most of the teams in the NBA are. I salute the Rockets, I salute the Thunder, I salute the Minnesota Timberwolves for doing something, not just conceding defeat for the next 4 to 5 years until the Warriors team breaks up, or maybe Clay gets jealous of not getting as much shine as Steph and KD, or Draymond gets jealous. I don't want to see a NBA dominated by the Warriors where teams ain't competing. Now, if the Warriors dominate and there are really good teams, I'm fine with that. But don't just sit down and accept defeat. I feel like the Eastern Conference has just sat down and accepted defeat to LeBron until he leaves the East or retires. You don't know. Things happen. You never know when somebody from the Warriors team is going to go down with an injury. So Houston is putting themselves in position. I think what Houston has done is, if they're able to get Carmelo Anthony, if somebody were to go down on the Warriors, I don't want to see anybody get injured, but if that were to happen, because injuries are part of the game, I think the Rockets have a good chance at beating the Warriors. Now, it will probably have to be either Draymond or Steph. Those are the two big injuries for me. I think even if KD went down, I think the Warriors still have enough to beat the Rockets in a series. But if Steph or Draymond went down, I think it'll be tough for the Warriors to replace that. I just think these guys provide different things on the court. I think Klay is the most replaceable guy right now. They could still win a championship, I believe, without Klay. KD is somebody that puts them over the top, but they've won without KD in the past. So I think right now the Rockets, if they could get Carmelo, it's a good series. I think they could compete for the #2 seed. They're not getting the #1 seed. I think the Warriors are going to win that head and shoulders away. But if they can compete with the Spurs for #2 seed, at least the Rockets are back in the Western Conference potentially, the finals potentially, and that's a good sign going forward. I like that. That shows players around the league something. Now you can go out and maybe get that one last piece next offseason. Convince Chris Paul to stay. For those who don't know, Chris Paul did not sign an extension with the Houston Rockets. He has that 1 year left that he had. It comes over with the Clippers. That's all he has. He's going to be a free agent at this season. So you got to find a way to convince Chris Paul to stay. And I don't think just having James Harden is enough. So we'll see if they can get their hands on Carmelo. The offers I've been hearing have been centered around Trevor Ariza, Ryan Anderson. They really want Melo to get bought out. But that's on Melo. That's solely on Melo to tell the Knicks, look, I don't want to play here. Let's get a buyout going. I don't want to be here. Because we all understand that the Knicks are going nowhere with Carmelo Anthony. Period. They're not going anywhere. So you need to move on from Melo. That's my opinion. But I don't think the Knicks are interested in doing a buyout right now. If they were to do that, if Melo could force that move, he could sign with the Rockets straight up and they keep all their pieces. He'll have his money in the buyout. So he could just get a $2 million veterans minimum from the Rockets. Any team can always offer the veterans minimum. So they could just sign him straight up without giving up any of their pieces. Because if you give up a piece for Melo, if you give up a Clint Capella, the team doesn't make sense. If you give up a Ryan Anderson, the team makes less sense. You gave away a lot of your depth in the trade for Chris Paul. I don't think the Rockets can afford to trade for Chris Paul and Carmelo in the same offseason because they've lost all their depth to do that. You already got rid of Patrick Beverley. You already got rid of Lou Williams, a couple other pieces, Sam Deckers of the world, who had a lot of potential and promise. You can't afford to give up another trade where you lose Trevor Ariza and Ryan Anderson. But the Rockets are aggressively looking for a third team, maybe Atlanta, that wants to get involved in this trade, or maybe some team that wants to help them facilitate this Carmelo move. And if not, they're trying to help. I think I've heard that Chris Paul and James Harden are recruiting the hell out of Carmelo Anthony to get him to force this buyout, which he could do. And I heard that they're trying like hell as of today. Chris Paul is very tight with Melo. James Harden to a lesser degree, but they're trying like hell to get Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks out of the New York Knicks into a Houston Rockets uniform. That's an update. Subscribe to my channel. This content is only for my subscribers only. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty. Yeah.